Live from the capital city in high definition, this is WBRZ News 2 Louisiana.
And something you don't see every day, and something you don't ever want to see again.
Man versus a garbage truck in a freak accident in Baton Rouge. Good evening. Now, the fast-moving storm system spawned tornadoes and headed east, causing the worst severe weather outbreak in the U.S. in the past 11 years. At least 7 people are dead. In Georgia, a mother lost her 3-year-old son and his father when a tree fell through the roof, crushing them.
When I realized my youngest son was like through the ground, so I pulled him out and took him next door, but
he was on top of him, holding him like he was trying to protect them, but it smashed both of them.
There were tornadoes, of course, in Georgia and in the Carolinas. The National Weather Service is investigating reports of at least 18 others. Now, Pat explains. Good evening. A woman accused of killing in a hit-and-run in Ascension Parish told a judge she didn't do it.
Kathleen Fitzpatrick was talkative in court, but not when she got outside. Let's get you up to speed. 22-year-old Tommy Christine Hadley, known as Chrissy, died after she was hit by an SUV. It happened as Hadley walked along Highway 42 in December. Fitzpatrick was arrested by a deputy 3 days later for felony hit-and-run. News 2 Stephanie Ryan gets answers on why the victim.
Now, on the flip side, the Tiger defense has been prepping for this quick pace offense the Ducks run since March. They're well versed in what Oregon is capable of, and they've been prepping to line up in their nickel or dime package for most of the ball game. That means they're going to lean on their corners and play straight up, leaving the safeties and the backers to hold their position in the middle of the field. Now, for Oregon, well, anything is really possible. The special teams are going to be the difference maker in this one. Cliff Harris, a dynamic for the Ducks, but now it's up to backup running back Kenyon Barner or wide receiver Josh Huff. Neither were exceptional. Can you hear that? Guess who's taking the field right now? So we'll find out if Tyrann Mathieu is ready to step into Patrick Peterson's role. He's got the number. Does he have the moves? Tyrann was great last year as a freshman, and other key freshmen could step up and play those same type of roles. Anthony Johnson, or on the Tiger defensive line, or how about Odell Beckham Jr. in the slot receiver taking over for Russell Shepard. All right, we told you what to watch, who to watch for, and how this thing should shake out.
4 Baton Rouge police officers are on paid leave after investigators say they shot a man to death after a chase. It happened overnight and spanned 2 parishes. Tonight we spoke to people who knew the suspect and say they are surprised at the last night's turn of events. Dozens of Baton Rouge police officers and their colleagues worked through the night, combing a stretch of Highway 190 for evidence, their mobile command center visible, along with state police, Port Allen police, and numerous other law enforcement agencies, after chasing 48-year-old Daryl Douglas Payrow through 2 parishes. News 2 showed up at Payrow's home this evening. His family members declined to talk to News 2. But people who knew Payrow described him as someone who kept to himself.
Socially, he was kind of drawn back a little bit, never really associated with too many people. But he's a very, very artistic and very creative individual.
He apparently used that creativity to get away overnight. Here's what investigators say happened. Payrow was driving this red truck when he refused to stop after a traffic violation at Florida Boulevard and Airline Highway. That's when investigators say Payrow took them on a low-speed chase across the old Mississippi River Bridge into West Baton Rouge Parish. About a mile past LA 415, 4 officers involved in the chase got quite a scare.
The driver of the vehicle pulled over to the shoulder of the road. He was ordered out of the vehicle. When he stepped out, he had a firearm in his hand. The officers ordered him to drop the firearm. He refused to do so, and 4 Baton Rouge police officers fired upon him, and he was pronounced dead at the scene.
According to investigators, officers shot Payrow multiple times. The coroner was called in to remove his body from the side of the highway. News 2 was there as East Baton Rouge Parish Mayor-President Kip Holden arrived on the scene. Investigators say he showed up to support the officers. Right now, the investigation continues, but detectives and people who knew Payrow are puzzled over why he refused to stop, then got out with a gun in his hand.
I don't know if he meant for this chase to go on or if it's something that just happened. It's hard to tell.
Now, an autopsy was performed on Pero's body today to determine his exact cause of.
Now to the grand jury, which heard testimony from LSU quarterback Jordan Jefferson about that bar fight which got him suspended from the team.
He and teammate Josh Johns gave their accounts of what happened. John's lawyer says it is a case of mistaken identity. Let's get you up to speed. Both players were arrested on felony battery charges last month. Their arrests stem from this fight outside Shady's bar in Baton Rouge. 4 people claim they were hurt and were treated at hospitals for their injuries. Lawyers representing the men say they feel confident Jefferson and Johns will be cleared. News 2's Michael Shingleton has the latest.
Jordan Jefferson and his attorney, Louis Unglesby, showed up just before 3 this afternoon. Didn't really have much to say. Louis has been very persistent about that through this entire process, that, you know, his client, Jordan Jefferson, really can't say anything because of team rules. Here's what he had to say.
Let me tell you all this now so to simplify all your lives, okay? Now and whenever we get finished and at all times, he can't talk. That's LSU rule. So you can ask questions. You're always going to get the answer that he can't talk.
Now, many other players have testified today in front of that grand jury, including reserve linebacker Josh Johns. He actually showed up here right around 9 this morning, entered through the basement, so all the media that's out here was really unable to get anything on camera from him. But his attorney, Tommy D'Amico, did come and give us some statements later on. We'll get back to that in a second. But we do know that 3 other players who witnessed the fight gave their side of the story. Evan Washington, LeVar Edwards, and Derek Bryant were here throughout the morning, left for a quick lunch break, then came back to finish up their testimony. 2 other independent witnesses and another man allegedly involved in an altercation with one of the victims, Andrew Lowry, the night in question, also testified. 7 in total from Team Unglesby. But back to Tommy D'Amico, as we said, Josh Johns' attorney was in open court. He was in the hearing with his client and said they're very optimistic about the outcome.
Josh testified this morning before the grand jury. He voluntarily appeared before the grand jury. He obviously told the complete truth, answered all questions completely with regards to the grand jury.
It's been a waiting game all day from around 9 this morning till now, not only waiting for players to come in and out, but also waiting on a decision from the grand jury. For now, that is the latest. Reporting at the old 19th Judicial District Court, Michael Shingleton, WBRZ, Balance News.
Now, the rest of the football team is busy preparing for this.
The search continues for a missing Bruley High School teacher. New developments from the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office.
East Baton Rouge Parish Mayor President Kip Holden rallies support for his nearly $1 billion tax plan. He hopes you approve.
City Jail is nearly full and thousands of warrants have been cleared as part of an ongoing operation in East Baton Rouge Parish.
Get the whole story at 6.
Mi family, Darío Galván.
A Baton Rouge man is arrested after police say he shot his wife while she was at work.
He just walked through for the back door, shoot her 3 times and run away.
Thousands of dollars worth of high-powered weapons stolen from homes in Baton Rouge.
That's fully loaded and everything. They took all the ammunition.
These creepy blood-sucking creatures are on the rise. I'll tell you what Baton Rouge is doing to get rid of mosquitoes.
Get the whole story at 6.